What's up, my boomers? It's me, Melanie Mac, here on my new channel, Melanie Mac Go Boom. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me on this wonderful, sunshiny, where I'm at, Saturday. So, I feel good today. I always feel good when I get some sunshine, got my workout in. I chilled outside for a little bit with my dog, and then I'm going to do like an Instagram AMA thing today, and then enjoy the rest of my day. Try to be outside some today because it's great. I love it. I love the sunshine. All right, so today's video was a tip from Invincible Mikey. He sent this on my Discord. So if you guys ever see any articles or any relevant type of topic that you want me to talk about on a video, hop on my Discord. I have it linked in the description on my link tree, I believe. And you can always tag me there, link me that, and there is a chance that I will choose that for a video like I did today. Now, this video is about people hating on white men again, regarding gaming especially. Now, before I really dive into this, I just want to say the Invincible Mikey, who tipped me off to this video, is black. At least appears to be, judging by his profile picture, because I know the wokies are gonna think this is just a big white circle jerk, but it's not. So let it be known. Anyway, let me go ahead and read this article, because of course, like gaming journos, they do not miss any chance they have to hate on white men. Man, they don't like the white dudes. This is by Jade King, so sounds like a woman. I don't know what race, probably white. Yeah, white woman. By the power of the white woman, the savior of all, every minority, the white woman. Okay, let me go ahead and read this article. Remember when Joel's head was turned into mush at the start of Last of Us Part 2? AKA the reason why I didn't play that game. Abby hit a hole-in-one right into the dude's cranium as thousands of gamer boys watched on in horror, powerless to stop the death of their favorite sad dad. We were witnessing the death of gaming's favorite straight white male actor or character, a demographic which is becoming increasingly uncommon across the medium as diversity makes its mark. There was welcome outrage, with thousands taking to the internet and protesting the fact that their post-apocalyptic adventure was being hijacked by a lesbian and her bisexual partner on a chaotic revenge tour across the streets of Seattle. Nobody cared about Ellie being a lesbian. Also, nobody cared about Ellie being the main character in Last of Us 2. They just didn't like seeing our dude Joel get that treatment. But of course, the gaslighting continues. Girls holding hands, kissing, and placing an emotional burden on one another that requires them to be vulnerable and honest. You don't see any of that worthwhile development in straight white male characters, and that's why they're so good. Be Ludo narrative, dissonant murderer like Nathan Drake instead. Ellie had a DLC in The Last of Us, the first one, where she had a little girlfriend. Nobody cared. So I don't understand. That went over really well. People actually liked it. So again, the gaslighting continues. They just want to be like, haha, us versus white men. Yeah. Okay. All right. So she continues. Joel's untimely passing was just the start, ushering in the beginning of an agenda that has spread throughout the industry, with diverse heroes and progressive politics infesting our virtual worlds like they are actually intended to reflect our own society in a compelling and somewhat realistic way. We can't have any of that. Games should be all about burly, emotionless men and violence ripped of any narrative meaning. Because who wants to actually engage with the art they consume? Am I right? Just give me content I consume. I think it's hilarious that they chose Gears of War for this picture. Does she play video games at all? I mean, yeah, you got Marcus Phoenix, who's white, but you got Dominic Santiago right here. You got Augustus Cole, who's black. I named my cat after this character. Like, yeah, there's another white dude with Bard, but still, like, this is not just white men. They've got a diverse cast in the Gears franchise. not only that, but these weren't emotionless men. Dude, Dom's wife died. I believe he even had to kill her. It was a very emotional moment. These dudes had emotional moments. They were like bros and stuff. And there were a lot of emotional moments in the early Gears games. Maybe if you played, you would have seen that. Remember when heroes like Desmond Miles, Nathan Hale, Cole McGraw, Marcus Phoenix, and whoever the guy from Spec Ops The Line was called were all the rage? Those were the days when all we had to worry about was shooting, stabbing, electrocuting people without any apparent consequences. Well, maybe not that last example, but personally I think they were trying to force their political message in that one a little too hard. They were fighting grubs, aliens. Did you play the games? I want them straight, I want them male, and I want them to be emotionally attached to their fellow characters on a strictly professional level. Anything more than that will make me think too much. And to be honest, I'm still scared of women. Never forget what they did to Alien. Are you serious? Did she play these games? Did she even play them? I swear, each and every time a new blockbuster is announced, my precious straight white men are cast aside in favor of a female character or person of color, upping diversity quotas while providing my weekly right-leaning podcast some new material before it fades into irrelevance. I love to moan about the death of games and the media surrounding it, but I'd sure be running out of things to talk about if they started acting like I constantly picture them in my head. Maybe one day gaming will reach its ultimate form and we can all be happy. Well, all the people like me, who cares about anyone else, am I right? That sounds like a cope. Remember my warning when Nathan Drake is trampled to death by an elephant in Uncharted 5, Drake's downfall, to make way for his woke pansexual daughter's rise to power. Remember that I predicted the erasure of straight white male protagonists in video games all those years ago. Remember that the end is nigh and the gamer boys will be the first up against the wall. Dude, this sounds like some racism. It sounds like some misandry. She hates men and she hates straight men and she hates white men. And she's projecting that in all of this. And she's talking about games that she clearly has never played. And instead, she's just taking out her rage against white men and her racism. Just completely write a racist and sexist article. Just out, unabashed, unashamed. Just write a racist and sexist article like this saying you hope all white men die. Well, you know, Jade, I got news for you. The majority of gamers in the West are likely, now correct me if I'm wrong, statistically, now I'm talking about actual gamers and not the whole people who play Candy Crush and crap, people who are buying games like Uncharted, Gears, all that, even Last of Us 2, are white men. They kind of make up most of the demographic, and you just want to erase them. That's like, dude, if you're going to get into an industry that is dominated by women or something like that, like those romance novels or something like the makeup industry, you can't just go in there and say, oh yeah, let's eradicate all women in this industry. It's like you literally just want to go and hijack this hobby. You really don't care that much about it, because if you did, you would know what you were talking about with the games. But I digress. She does make a point that there are a lot of people in the industry trying to do these things and push these narratives. But to my knowledge, the reason why, to my understanding, most characters in video games and most protagonists are usually straight white men is because that simply makes up the biggest demographic of people who play these video games in the West. It just kind of makes sense. Do I think that there shouldn't be any diversity? No, because I mean, people still, even straight white men, still play games with diverse leads. Look at classic Tomb Raider with Lara Croft. Now, that did have a pretty big female demographic as well, but I mean, look at all these games right now that don't have straight white male leads. Who do you think is making them successful? I mean, predominantly straight white men, okay? So I'm really curious about this strategy here in the hating and the racism and sexism against the demographic that actually supports predominantly this outlet and hobby. I'm very curious about this strategy, but I digress. This was quite the banger of an article to talk about today. Thank you, Invincible Mikey, for bringing this to my attention, because it just reads like a giant cope. It reads like a giant racist, sexist cope. You're just so mad, girl. You're so mad. Stay mad. Okay, I'm going to read some comments from some recent videos before I wash my eyes with bleach. Thought Police says, if creators need to demonetize to prove their fandom, now this is in response to my Lord of the Rings video, then Amazon needs to demonetize to prove theirs. Whoo, the mic drop, the mic drop. That was a banger comment right there. All right, the indie film dude says, loving your content, but also I love that you prayed for someone. You are amazing. We need more of this. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'm doing my best. Jam Daddy says, you can't please the woke, and that's why I just ignore them. Want nothing to do with that. It's very simple. It's like, don't feed the trolls. I like my peace of mind and can't be bothered with that. I feel ya. Mr. Batsu says, I dare you to demonetize your content. This is basically them saying, we can't make any money, so you shouldn't be able to either. Here's a surprise. You can speak the truth, be entertaining, make money, and also have it be negative against something, all at the same time. Jerry RN says, love your content on games, movies, and pop culture. I also appreciate the spiritual aspect without beating people over the head with it. Keep up the good work. Subscribers 100K on the way. That would be so exciting. I hope I can reach that threshold on this channel one of these days. Denmark Radar says, Dear Melanie, it's rightfully called The Wrongs of Power. I love that. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and go into the verse of the day, since we're talking about racism today. John 7:24 says, do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment. You're not supposed to look at people just like, you're not supposed to judge someone by what they look like. We're supposed to judge people by their character and how they treat us. Now, of course, when it comes to judging people, there's like obviously a limitation to that, because we are not to be judgmental toward others, because only God knows their story, and that's not really our place. So I feel like there's a fine line, because obviously you want to have some sort of judgment that you place on people you allow in your circle and you allow in your life, because you're just not going to want trash people who are going to treat you like crap in your life. So you have to use discernment. But yeah, obviously you don't want to just be sitting around looking at everybody and being like, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. I'm not, all that, because you don't know their story and all that. So, well, today's video was insane. I can't believe someone unironically wrote that article. I can't believe it. This is a funny day. All right. Well, there you have it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, go boom.